AITAH for looking younger and dating a younger woman after my divorce. My ex-wife and I divorced 4 years ago. I am 48, she is 49. I was very overweight when I was married. I was also balding. I looked like your garden variety middle-aged dad. I never really took care of myself, I existed for the family, which was a mistake in retrospect. Since my kids were grown up, I decided to move to another state. I started going to gym. 2 years later, I was fairly lean and I got a lot of tattoos. I also shaved my head. Soon after, I found myself a girlfriend. She is quite a bit younger than me, which has somehow become a point of contention. After my GF insisted I tried a nice hair system. Oh boy, the difference was immense. I look like I am in my 30s. I generally post pics of my dog on my Instagram page, but I decided to put a shirtless pic of mine. I hopped out of shower and I looked good, so I said, why the FCK not? What happened next was bombardment of messages from my kids and from my friends. My children have never seen me with a hairpiece, and although they knew that I was exercising, they didn't know how much progress I made. I also used to have a beard because I had a baby face. I decided to shave and my baby face is still there, but it now works to my advantage. On the other hand, I have been receiving some nasty messages from my ex-wife. How I should act like my age, how I shouldn't ride bikes, how I am having midlife crisis, and how immature that is. I have become the center of gossip. My friends and kids send me screenshots every day of group chats about me. They are discussing about how I am going through midlife crisis. They even dragged my GF into the mix of it, how young she is, blah blah. I can't see what is wrong with anything I am doing. I don't think improving yourself is bad. First comment, I'm 36 and I get along better with people your age than people that are in their 20s. Especially under 25, they are so young and so inexperienced, I guess. I have some younger middle 20s friends and acquaintances, but they are very young and it's noticeable. They are just so, I don't know. The only word I can think of is dramatic, but that's not quite right. It's more like people after 30 start to mellow out and they just have a chill whatever attitude, and the land where they grow their fucks have gone barren, and I'm like that now too, so I can't relate, and it's very tiring with younger people that haven't reached this state. Like, I get it. I used to be the same and worry about how I was perceived, and that one coworker that hated me for no reason, but the reason that I stopped caring is that I was sick and tired of it and I was just over it. And the younglings want to obsess and talk about it endlessly and just don't care, and it's exhausting and I'm just too tired for that. I have a friend my age that has one of those coworkers that just hates her, and sometimes we talk about it, but she doesn't care and doesn't want to analyze every tiniest thing this coworker says or does. She just tells me about her silly antics and gossiping, and we roll our eyes and laugh at her, and sometimes talk about how to navigate it to protect her reputation at work and cover her ass, and that's that. It's not never-ending discussions over why coworker doesn't like her and how to make coworker like her. And did she use the exact right phrase and tone and facial expression when she spoke to cow, and what do cow's response mean? She looked on that direction, was that a sign, and what would it have meant if she looked in this direction instead, and on and on. Been there, done that, and I'm done. Second comment, my wife liked to mock me about my current living situation. When I first got chased out of my home, I was sleeping on the floor in a friend's apartment in the ghetto. I had only those belongings which I'd been able to get out of the house before she changed the locks for fear I would rob her blind, trapping things from my work tools to my taxes behind a door I could no longer open. Fortunately, she had thrown a lot of my stuff in garbage bags and thrown them on the landing, so I did have the stuff she deemed mine, which wasn't all my stuff, but hey. And she would mock me. Hope you're living your best life on the floor in the ghetto, or I bet you'll have a lot of luck with women because they love seedy apartments and mattresses on the floor. Not like I was seeing anyone. I was still reeling from the massive upheaval of my entire life. Just like a lot of comments on a regular basis. I was very clear, it was a AITAH situation. I did what I could to improve it. I have a small area, so I bought a bunk bed with a desk under it so I have a place to keep some things. A couple wire shelves for clothes and my few belongings. I went from a 3-story home with a 5-car garage and a big barn on 80 acres in the middle of nowhere to a 500 square foot second floor apartment in a city. I can't even see the stars anymore. And she liked to remind me of that on a very regular basis. And then at some point I was very straightforward with her. She said something, gave me a hard time the way she does, and I asked her, did you at no point stop to think about what kind of hell on earth I left behind, if I left everything I had in exchange for what I'm living with now? Do you have any idea the hell I lived through if this is better? She still mocks me, but now it's for things like my appearance or how I choose to spend my time. Third comment, NTA. I was just thinking about something similar this morning. My ex was very controlling. I wasn't allowed to gain weight, get piercings, or tattoos that I have been wanting since I was a teenager. I've always liked the look. We had a messy split. He crossed my hard lines and it ended up killing my feelings for him. One minute I loved him, the next I didn't. I've never had that happen before, and the feelings never came back. 3 months later, I'd moved on with a guy that was younger than me, with long hair, tattoos, and piercings. My family was pissed that I gave up on my marriage for this bad boy rebound. That rebound and I have been together 18 years, happily married with 3 beautiful kids, of course. Now my family changes their story. He doesn't care when I get tattoos and piercings, while my ex thought I should be this perfect mold of his ideal partner. My husband loves me for who I am, not some preconceived notion of who he thinks I should be. He knew, although I didn't have tattoos or piercings when we got together, that I wanted them. He designed some tattoos for me and found me an artist. If I tell him I want to dye my hair teal, he's on board, just as he has been with every other color of the rainbow I've put on my head. I love this man with every inch of my soul, and I am free to breathe and be me. So long as you are not hurting anyone, mistreating your GF, which is a common midlife crisis theme, and both you and her are happy, who gives a flying fuck what your ex thinks? Sounds like she might be a bit jealous that 1, your GF is younger than her, and 2, she got the old you, not the new and improved you. 4th comment, I hate to say it has all the hallmarks of a midlife crisis, but it does. Not that improving yourself is a bad thing in any way, it's not, and you're not wrong for making improvements, but if it looks and sounds like a midlife crisis, you can't really blame them for calling it one. I think your ex has no business commenting. You're divorced and it's not her business. Also, would be smart to assess if your kids are coming from a place of concern or malice. Also, you moving away after the divorce and suddenly becoming unrecognizable could be drugging up suppressed feelings for your kids, so there may be more there than it just being about your appearance changing. They may feel that you abandoned them, traded them out of your life for a newer, better model. They may be feeling left out and left behind. Obviously, I don't know this for sure, but it's something to consider and may be worth addressing if there are more indications that this may be the case. Would a visit with your kids without girlfriend help? Maybe they feel they don't hear from you enough, and not even knowing what you look like now could reaffirm that for them. Maybe if you spend some quality time with them, it'll help, either one-on-one calling, visiting each kids more regularly, or see them as a group and have a weekly phone call with each or something. This may help them to feel more included. There is clearly also some animosity surrounding GF, so I'd leave her completely out of it for now. Don't bring her around or include her in your time with kids. Make sure they are getting their own uninterrupted dad time without some other lady they don't know butting in. Maybe once you've worked on the relationships, there will be an opportunity months down the line to gradually start involving her a little, while also respecting their boundaries and ensuring you still have dad-kid time. Just some food for thought.